Welcome to The Shield Within. The issues discussed on the Shield Within podcast do not reflect the opinions of any specific agency. They are the views of the host and the guest. Any persons discussed may be fictional for comedic purposes only. This podcast is rated explicit and listener discretion is advised. Listening to The Shield Within may trigger repressed or suppressed memories or experiences. Please contact a mental health professional at your earliest convenience. It's time for the chaos to cease.
Time to open yourself to peace.
From the hours you've put in.
To the next shift you begin.
From the endless pursuit of release.
That finds the worst unleashed.
Transform the ugly into a win.
Get to know your shield within.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Did I tell you about when I was washing the car with my son yesterday?
No.
Yeah, he got mad and said, Dad, why don't you just use a sponge? Hey, guys, welcome back. We got some guests today. We're here with Mark and Dr. Dave from the Shield Within podcast. They're going to be joining us.
Yay.
Oh, welcome.
Okay. Yeah, we did an episode with these guys, and they're going to let us talk to them now for a little bit.
Yeah, it's their turn to be interrogated.
Interviewed is the word we use, baby. Interviewed.
My bad.
Don't make the guests feel uncomfortable. Get that light bulb out of Dr. Dave's face.
Sorry.
Nice. Put your comp
but why are you
interviews
hitting
away.
me with the cattle prod?
No, we had a really good time talking with you guys and just kind of bouncing around our relationship a little bit and us as a couple. It was a lot of fun. And I think kind of what I would like to do is kind of pick your brains a little bit. As we kind of mentioned before, we are pretty new at this, not both podcasting and the marriage thing,
Yeah.
at least for each other. So as the little bit you guys have got to know us, I mean, Mark and I have known each other a little longer, I guess, but...
I mean, as associates.
Yeah.
We weren't dating.
We weren't married. Never been married. I wouldn't put a ring on it.
You just use me.
I think
It'll be a side dude. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Didn't expect that rabbit hole to go down, did you, Harry?
you thought I was bad with rabbit holes.
Yeah. You are.
Hey.
But yeah, we thought we'd just kind of talk to you guys a little bit about what kind of, advice you might have for a newly starting out almost couple as we're kind of getting rooted here. If you guys are down for that kind of conversation.
Oh, absolutely. This is how much time do you guys got? Wow. Yeah.
How big is your memory card?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like as a first responder couple, and we kind of touched on it in the episode we recorded before. If there is one piece of advice, and I'll start with Dr. Dave because, and by the way, with your voice, you had to be a therapist. There was pretty much no option other than therapist or maybe podcast host, and so you got both.
Yes,
but you've got that amazing voice that it's just kind of like I could see myself walking in your office and just being like, "Okay, Dr. Dave, I'll tell you all my secrets." just serenade me with that Dr. Dave voice. But anyway,
thank you.
If you think of one piece of advice for a freshly starting out first responder couple. Again, Nichole and I are both police officers, and we've been married just about a year and a half. So what's something you think we should kind of focus on together to try and make this as good as we can make it?
The number one thing that comes up is dialogue. And I think we talked about this in the first episode. I love how this fits into what I do with coaching. This happens a lot. Couples just, the phrase is grow apart. Well, for me, it's like you don't spend any time together. No wonder you're going to grow apart.
Right.
It's a natural consequence of not devoting time to being with each other. So you make an appointment, literally. You put it on your calendar. And my point to people is, if you put 3 o'clock on Thursday, you're going to you have a doctor's appointment. Will you go to the doctor's appointment? Hell yes, I'll go to the doctor's appointment. Mm-hmm. So if you put 3 o'clock on Thursday to have dialogue with your spouse, I'd be more likely to do it.
Oh,
Exactly.
I'm going to be in trouble. We're talking about calendars. I'm already getting in trouble.
You're not a calendar keeper?
No, this was one of our arguments.
He's not very great at putting the thing. To be fair, I could use some help there too, because I didn't put some of my work stuff in there. But he's notoriously bad for not putting things in the calendar.
Well, no, this was the one where you got upset because I put something in the calendar, but I hadn't done the Bible study. We actually talked about it on one of our episodes.
Oh, yeah. I
Yes,
remember
I'm
that
sorry.
episode.
Yes. So I had our calendars shared. So everything, which was so much easier doing it that way.
Oh, yes.
And it popped up, it pops up every time somebody adds something. Well, I had something, a family thing that was like,
It was check on the dog's surgery.
yeah, it was check out my son's dog was having elbow replacement or
His cruciate.
yeah, knee replacement or fixing, whatever you do, whether I guess I don't replace it, but whatever. Serious surgery for an Akita.
Right.
And I wanted to check on him. So I put in the phone that day, surgery, check on Apollo. And she, at the same time, had been bugging me to catch up on a Bible study we were doing. And I hadn't been. I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And all of a sudden, she's pissed and goes, you got time to put in the calendar to check on the dog, but why couldn't you just put in the calendar, do the Bible study? And I was pissed because I was like, it's a dog. I know you love dogs. Like, why are you mad about the dog? And she's like, no, like, I love Apollo too. Like, I want you to check on Apollo. That's an important thing in the calendar. I'm not saying your thing isn't important.
Right.
But I'm saying you took 10 seconds to type check on Apollo in the calendar, but you couldn't take 10 seconds to type do the Bible study.
Or just do the Bible study.
And or just do it without putting it in the calendar. But I was like, yeah. I have a lot of those moments where I go,
we always do that.
Oh yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny you mentioned the calendar thing
Yeah.
because that was one of our things, and we have the only relationship calendar thing we usually have is record a podcast. That's
Sundays.
always in the calendar whenever we're going to do it. Record a podcast episode.
Do you do it after church?
Yeah, usually, because that's like the best day for us since we're both together. We don't have to worry about schedules or sleep or anything like that. Although the last couple of weeks we've been really bad and been recording on Mondays or Tuesdays.
Yeah, we've been having to play some catch up time, but it works.
Yeah.
Well, so in a way, you already have that scheduled time together.
It's
Yeah.
Whereas
it's
other
weird.
couples that don't do a podcast, should reach out and.
It sounds strange, but honestly, if somebody was to say to me basically what I asked you, what's the best relationship advice you could give? I would say buy some microphones and headsets
and record together.
and
Well, yeah, but-
sit across from each other.
But if you argue, you can play it back. That's not what I said.
I've threatened that. I've told her I'm going to leave these mics live all the fucking time, and then I can just go back and find something. Of course, it'll work against me too. I got to that. It's not like I'm
You have that.
I'm over here in my glass house throwing stones, but yeah.
No. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, finding time to sit down and talk, and honestly, before the podcast, it's not something we did a whole lot of just of what's the word you use? Intentionally,
Yes.
of being intentional with
Right.
with let's sit and have a conversation.
Right. Yeah. It's just so easy to sit down at your day of work and scroll your phone and not pay attention
Them
to
fucking
your
phones.
spouse, your children,
They're
your
so
animals,
bad.
your tasks, whatever. It just gets so tempting to not do
And
the
there's-
thing that would probably feel the best to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there's no excuse for us
That's exactly
because
right.
there's no kids living in the house.
Nope.
There's sure she keeps collecting dogs. There's that, but other than a couple Malinois biting her every chance they get, there's really no excuse for us.
Right.
Right.
Yes, we're busy. Yes, we have a lot of things going on. Yes, we work. Yes, we have stuff to do around the house. But as couples go, there's couples out there with 5-6 kids
Oh, yeah.
that find
Yeah.
more time to talk than sometimes we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yes.
So that's dialogue. I think is something that we need to focus on, probably even a little more than just when we have the headphones on.
And when we're not intentional, we always try to have these conversations at like the most inconvenient times. Like you're getting ready to go to bed.
Exactly.
And suddenly we're having this
Yeah.
deep conversation and I'm like, oh, it's been an hour. Now you're an hour late to bed. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Gets harder.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you think there's more planning? There should be more planning?
I definitely think we need to be more intentional with it. Like if we can take the time, I need to call and schedule my dentist appointment, or I need to schedule time for the vet. I should schedule time to talk to my husband, like, or do something with him. Like
Yeah.
if those things are important to me, and he's obviously important to me. I've told him like, I'm never getting divorced again, so you're stuck with me. But we're also not doing the things to where it's keeping us on the same field where we're both
Right.
working
Right.
to make sure that doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yes. And that's the work that you do is you
Yeah.
touch each other and you make contact with how your day has been. And like one of my clients that I actually see when I get home today, I just would like to sit down with my husband at the end of the day and just have a casual conversation about, what's in the news or what the kids, just no like heavy shit, just have a casual conversation. Why can't you do that? He's on his phone. I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I've got to get the laundry taken care of. He makes sure this, you just find other shit to do, but it's like the thing that would feed you both the most is right there in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. And like she even says, if we sit on the couch, say we sit on the couch and both plop out our phones and we sit there scrolling whatever,
Right.
time wasting shit we're scrolling.
yeah.
It's not like it feels when we get done. We're both irritated at ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like her especially.
Yes.
She'll be on her phone for 30 minutes and all of a sudden I'll see her throw her phone down and be like, "Gosh damn it! I've been on this fucking phone for 30 minutes." And we know when we're doing it, when we're wasting that time, we know we're just not doing something productive.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
time suck, man. It's where you could be doing something better.
It
You know,
is.
it's like I told my wife, why are we on these fucking phones? Let's go take a walk. Put these goddamn things down, or
Yes.
let's do something productive.
We need to get.
Yes.
I could build one of those phone blockers. Sends out the signal like they use in theaters to block a phone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could build one of those, and then we just put a timer on it, and like, boom, 15 minutes, your phone's not going to fucking work. Look at me,
Yeah.
woman.
I used to.
look at me.
Treat her like watch me, like a dog. Watch me.
Place your rates. That'd be fun. Sounds like.
Need to be better about that.
How about you, Mark? If you had one piece of advice you'd want to give to a new couple,
Oh yeah. See, my wife and I, we've been together 35 years. Yeah.
fantastic.
Well, we take a break every 10 years. So.
But you're allowed to aggregate them. You're allowed to count them all together.
Yeah.
You don't have to start
Yeah,
recounting.
the marriage certificate was signed in '89, so we just go from there. We don't have pause. We don't have the pauses work in. But one thing I could say is that keep that connection is to share more and do more things with one another. The absolute worst advice, and I'm sure you got this from an old hat when you first got started, was don't go home and tell your wife what you had at work.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the worst thing in the world, and that's when we're talking about, we need that deprogramming time. But it's always good to go through that uncomfortableness of, let's talk about this. Your spouse may not know. Well, obviously, being both first responders, you get it. You mentioned, dead baby call. I think it's been a cop any amount of time has had the dead baby call. And it's terrible. It's absolutely horrible. But now you get it. I think you two would have a better understanding of one another, but also share that. How did you feel? Ask, how did that make you feel? How do you feel now?
Yeah.
Let me support you through this, and with your years on the job, I think you'd be a better gauge for Nichole. to be able to help her with, God damn, this was fucked up. Yeah, it's fucked up, honey. Yeah. And, and then the big question is, do either of you go to therapy?
No.
I don't. We don't. Not anymore. I would say I'm on an as-needed basis with my therapist right now. So.
Well, but you have one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And see, that's one thing we talk about, the Shield Within.
Right.
And I talk about with our class, since we both teach at the same academy. It's like, get your therapist early. And of course, you see the eyes roll. Like, yeah, whatever. I get it, guys. I get it, but it's coming. I never thought it was coming for me, but it came.
When I went, it was funny because I teach the critical incident stress class, and I was teaching that, and I was standing up in front of the class. I was in the middle of my divorce. I'm standing up there teaching, and I'm getting to the point where I'm saying, when you feel like your coping mechanisms, your normal everyday coping isn't working, when going to the gym or hanging out with your friends, or like I've told her, for me, it's sitting on the patio with a cigar and a beer. That's my unwind time. That's my coping time. When those things aren't working, get yourself a therapist. Go find someone to talk to when your normal stuff doesn't work. Right. And as I'm in the middle of teaching this class, and this voice in the back of my head starts going, "You fucking hypocrite! You fucking hypocrite!" And I was standing up there like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck!"
Was your face all pale? Gigs up, bro.
All right, we got a 10-minute break while I make a phone call. And that was actually the first time I had ever gone to see a therapist.
Really?
I was like, and I had literally had this voice in the back of my head saying, "You fucking hypocrite."
Yeah. I think we've all had those moments. Yeah. When David was my first experience of going to therapy, and luckily, I was blessed that I walked in his office and we had, instant rapport and instant click. I'm like, I dig this guy, and he's super cool. And
it was the voice.
It was the voice. Yeah. Although I could tell you the level of frustration getting into the office was, it was really aggravating, because David's like, well, might be able to work you in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I need you today. 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But if you have that now, you're already on the books.
Right.
Get that intake. And of course, you got all this. You just can't walk in and have 1 or 2 appointments and then you're good. It's like, that was in 2009. I'm still in therapy. I can own a lot of really cool shit with the money I've spent, keeping my head together. But, had I not done it, I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be doing this show. I guarantee you that. I'd have whacked myself back then.
Right.
So, that was my first attempt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something's horribly fucking wrong when I'm coming up with this. But, that's, to get back to the original question, was that, I think you two really have a leg up on a lot of first responder relationships. And as David shared with us before, a lot of times you got 2 type A's in a room. It's like putting 2 cats in a sack. It's not going to end pretty. That's right. But you guys have a unique awareness. Is one cool thing I like about your show, is that although it's sparked in comedy, which I like that. The dad jokes are horrible, but
Hey now.
Oh, wait a minute. They're so bad. They're funny. My other show, we did Mark's joke of the week, and they were so stupid that they were funny. But no, that's what makes it funny. It's like, oh God, that was horribly bad. And the fact that it's so bad makes it funny.
I don't even remember how that started.
TikTok somehow.
It was on a TikTok thing, but I just told you a couple jokes and people seemed to like them, so we just ran with it.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like I'm washing the car with my son, and it's like, I want you to use a sponge. And it's like, see, that's just dumb. It's so dumb. It's hilarious.
That's right.
But that's the insight. See, that's I think the magic and the great energy of your relationships is you guys are self-aware. You've been involved before.
He really thinks we're self-aware.
Well, you appear that way. But it's cool that you guys decide to be vulnerable and share that intimacy of your marriage with the world. And I think that's what's cool about your podcast.
Yeah, and I think it's important because like I had said before, and I said on one of our shows, it's people get this Facebook image or Instagram image of you. And you mentioned it, I think, in the other episode we did where you see people's perfect life. And that's all anybody puts out there. And that's one of the reasons so many people have problems and social anxieties with Facebook is because you see everyone's perfection and you think my life should be like that. And I don't want people looking at Nichole and I, which is what was happening. And like constantly we were hearing, how do I find a partner like yours? And I'm like, really? You don't want this bitch? Trust me. You know, and she's telling her friends like, this asshole? No. Let me tell you how to find something better than this dickhead. Right. But I thought we were almost doing a disservice if we let people think we're this perfect, never have a disagreement couple. When I think we're a perfect couple. I honestly do. Like I wouldn't ask anything different in a woman. Right. But do we argue? Do we struggle? Yes, absolutely we struggle. And I think it's more authentic and it's more fair to the people who look to us or look at us from the outside if they get a chance to see that this is really us. Like it's not just Eric and Nichole hiking with their dogs. Like there's other shit going on. You know, Eric and Nichole are arguing about fixing the house or whatever the case is. It seemed to me more fair. I think I already said that, but to the world, if we put out what we actually are, then not just the fake. You know, I want some likes and clicks version of us.
I mean, that's kind of why we started the podcast, is to leave a little bit of a legacy for people to understand that, like, you're going to struggle some, but that's okay. You're kind of supposed to, but here's how you can manage those struggles, and everybody goes through them. Like, that's part of our legacy, I guess.
But your struggles are like on steroids. So, you know, you have the normal, you know, you guys, you have the generational gap. You're both first responders. You both work midnights. It's just like, how do you make this worse? You're both amputees, you know, something like that. It's like, good God, you're congealed twins. I mean, what more struggle can you put on a relationship? But
a deaf Malinois puppy. That's how you make it worse.
Yes.
Helen
Keller is a dog.
It's the craziest fucking thing. I love him. I absolutely love this dog. But you don't even think. Like today, he started to go get into something, and I yell from across the house, Junior! Oh, he doesn't know what the fuck. He doesn't have no fucking clue I'm yelling at him. So you actually got to go over there and get his attention.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
A high energy dog like that's deaf.
It's super fun.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and it was fun with the other dogs because we kind of got, again,
rabbit hole.
Derailed our train again.
But
so the other dogs, you know, dogs play and they have dog language to say, no, get the fuck off.
Right.
He can't hear the growls and whatnot. So he would just keep going with his puppy energy, and the older Mal would just be like, I'm done.
Yes.
I'm going to bite this little asshole in half. And I got a picture of him last week where the big Mal had the puppy's entire head in his mouth.
Oh, wow.
And I captioned it. I said, when you're tired of the puppy shit. So you just eat his head.
Yeah.
So yeah, we found a way to add more stress. Adding more dogs.
Yeah.
But we're done with dogs till we buy bigger vehicles.
We're on our way to do that right now.
Oh, that's right. And a bigger yard.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if your yard's the size of my studio.
Yeah.
Who's the pooper picker upper?
The same person who mows the grass.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't give the excuse I work.
Just emasculate me on the internet, would you?
We have a whole episode of that.
Yeah, we
remember?
did. We told the whole story, but yeah, she basically, because I was willing to pay someone to mow the grass because I hated it so much, she was like, "I'll fucking do it and save you $20 a week, you idiot." And I thought that was when she first moved in, so I was like, this bitch is gaming me. She's just telling me she's gonna mow the grass for a couple weeks, and then when it gets to be 100 degrees, my fat ass is gonna be out there pushing a mower, sweating his balls off. I know how this ends. I'm not allowed. Like, if the grass starts to get a little long and she's busy and I go, hey, babe, you want me to mow the grass today for you? She's like, no, stay away. Don't touch my mower. I'll get it.
Just buy me one that works.
I'm like, all right. So I just sit in the backyard with a beer, watching my wife mow the grass.
Smoking a cigar. There you go.
I always wonder what my neighbors think.
I'm not seeing a bad side here.
No, I've just no.
I actually yelled at him yesterday. I said, I can never find my tools. That's what I said to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is something you would avoid? So you gave us ideas of what we should definitely strive for, something we should do. What should we avoid like the plague?
Dr. David.
That's a good question. I never thought of it like from that perspective.
Let me see here.
I mean, besides other bitches.
I was going to say speedway clerks, but
Ooh, you've never seen the clerks in my town. Wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, right?
No telling for taste, man. I guess the first thing that comes up is the book, The Four Agreements.
Ooh.
The Four Agreements emphasize four things, obviously. And
like I
one
need
of
to
them
take
is,
notes.
we touched on kind of obliquely in the first episode, is don't take things personally. When the person that's communicating to you is communicating to you, they're communicating to you about them, not about you. Communication is about the source, not about the listener.
That's really good, actually. Look at you. I know your eyes were like this, like, oh, shit.
So when somebody's mad, it's not mad at me. They're telling me that they're mad. That's all you get. That's all you really know. The rest of it's speculation and made up shit. What you know is, holy shit, they're mad. Oh, no, they're mad at me. No, they're mad. That's it. End of sentence. You don't know why they're mad. Yeah, but they're mad at me. Well, they might be mad at me. Well, yeah, could be mad at the dog. Could be mad at the driver on the way home. Could be mad at the phone call that just came in. Could be mad, So it's communication about, when communication happens, the person doing the communicating is telling you about them, not about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to interject here because yesterday, I don't even know how to start the story, but again, we told you we had this argument. Is that the word I'm supposed to use?
Fine.
Argument?
Fighting is not.
And he had said, or I asked him, like, why didn't you tell me something was bothering you or something was wrong? And his response was, well, I didn't want to trigger you. We'll use that term.
Yeah.
And I said, how am I supposed to know something's bothering you if you don't tell me? And he goes, well, I didn't want to make you mad. I said, my response is my responsibility.
Thank you.
And whatever's burdening you is your responsibility to tell me so I can fix it.
Yes.
And he goes, so you want me to tell you this? And I said, yeah, my responsibility is managing my emotions, and your responsibility is not managing my emotions.
Yeah.
And he kind of was like, but okay. But if we don't have that communication, if I don't know something's bothering him,
Right.
I don't know how to fix that or change my behavior.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, that would be the thing I would say. Don't take things personally. That's the thing to avoid.
I'll be right back. I gotta remove this sledgehammer from right between my eyes. Fucking Dr. Dave just swung across the room and plowed right into my forehead. Wow.
Well, but I think that being first responders, we feel the need to fix something.
No, not me. No.
Ding, ding, ding,
Eric.
ding, ding. Yeah. And what I've learned, especially recently, when my wife and I got back together, is that stop trying to fucking fix shit.
Right.
Yeah, but some stuff's just broken. You got to fix it.
Well, we think that.
I know.
We do. And being people of service or men of service, but we don't fix ourselves.
Right.
I was always the last person to take care of me. And I started doing that, taking care of me first. This is how I feel. This is what I want. These are the expectations I would like to see in the future. Not today, but, and it's communicating with my wife what I need.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I need. You talk to me about what your needs are. like whatever, housework or dishes or, she hates going grocery shopping. Fucking detests it. Well, I love going grocery shopping. Fuck it, I'll go by myself,
Hey, you and I can go on the grocery shopping double date together.
Fuck
We'll just drop the bitches off for some coffee and we'll go shopping because she hates that shit too.
Yeah, I
and
love
we
going
can
to
skip
the store.
through the store together and have a good old time.
Go to Kroger's on a Friday night. It's a fucking social adventure. I went up there on a Friday night one time. I was gone for 4 hours. She's like, calling me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm catching up with everybody I know from Troy and Covington.
That sounds terrible.
You guys,
Oh, I had a blast, man. I saw people I ain't seen in a while.
you guys have
but-
the nice Kroger up here with the bar in it too. Don't
Yes.
you?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
They don't do the wine tasting anymore.
They
'cause
don't. I was going to say because that might be a solution for us. I could drop her off at the wine bar and I could go get all
Right.
the groceries.
I would be plastered.
and then I would just I could load you on the top of the cart.
Right.
Roll you in the
Get her the
groceries
cart
out.
with the little sports car on the front. She
Yes.
can drive out. We can do SFSTs in the parking lot.
I would fail.
But, take care of yourself is my advice.
I kind of feel like this turned into a lesson for Eric, a little therapy session for Eric.
Yeah.
Every day's a therapy day, man. And especially when you get the Shield Within on, it's,
Right.
kind of the basis of this show is to help first responders navigate, and
And that's why we thought it'd be good to talk to you guys. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
It's enlightening. It's been very
it's
enlightening.
very much what we live every day.
Right.
The first responder thing and relationship thing and
Right.
trying to sort through it and
Well, not every relationship has the fucking dump truck of trauma.
Also true.
That we all have. And, what motivated you to want to be a cop? Sorry, I'm taking over your interview.
No. It's just kind of it wasn't
You're
something
next,
I always wanted to do.
Right.
It wasn't. It hit me. I always wanted to be a fighter pilot. That was what I wanted to do. Like pretty much
Top
probably
Gun
like
fan?
every little boy. Yeah.
Top Gun
Want to
fan,
be a
yeah.
fighter pilot.
Come on, Goose.
And
No, you're Maverick.
about the time I was like a sophomore, I realized I was never going to have the grades to get in the Air Force Academy, which is
Right.
what I want. For whatever reason, that was in my head. I'm going to go to the Air Force Academy. I'm going to be a fighter pilot. I'm going to be like Mr. fucking Air Force. So,
Right.
can you see me all fucking Air Forced out?
Oh, yeah.
And I realized that was just not in the cards for me.
Now I wanted to play the theme to...
You should.
And
then-
I had that loaded up.
Even though there are multiple other avenues for me to go in the military and be a fighter pilot, the fact that I couldn't go to the academy the way I wanted to, I was just like, oh, fuck it, I'm not doing that now. Which is, it just seems really weird looking back. Like,
Right.
like that's how I made a decision. Like I couldn't do the top rung, so I wasn't going to be happy with a
Right.
million other cool ass rungs underneath.
Right.
But I was just like, ah, fuck it. So then, and being a sophomore in high school is about the time people are like, what are you going to do when you grow up? What are you going to do when you grow up?
I'll work the door at a
And
strip
it
joint.
drives you fucking crazy. But I had been involved in rock climbing and backpacking pretty much my entire life since I was about
cool.
13, and I was like, my best friend Landon had an uncle who was a climbing ranger out in Denali, and I was like,
That'd
I'm
be
gonna
cool.
be a fucking park ranger. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm gonna be a park ranger.
Oh, cool.
So I decided, like through the end of my high school career, that's what I was going to do. Is I was going to be a park ranger, and then about the time I was right before graduation, I actually got serious about it, and I saw what a national park ranger made, and I said, I need to eat. Wow,
And not berries and
that
fart.
sucks. That sucks balls.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, reset. What's like a park ranger? A cop. Cop's kind of like a park ranger. They got a uniform. They got a gun.
Yeah.
The animals just look different, right? Like,
Right.
park ranger has cute animals. We have crackheads. It's just about a little bit different. So that's just kind of what led me to be
Okay.
a cop. So it was never the traditional but I did want to help people
Right.
that, but it wasn't the traditional I always wanted to be a cop and grow up and
Hey, that's my story. Can you
that
stop
is yours.
telling now?
Yeah. So it wasn't quite as stereotypical want to be a cop.
It was more
evolution as
organic
most people
then.
was. It just kind of happened, and because it shocked my parents. They were like, "You don't want to do what?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I couldn't even tell them why. I'll never forget the conversation with my mom and dad in the living room when I was like, "Well, I decided on a major. I'm going to take criminal justice," and they were like, "Huh?" Like, I'm going to be a police officer. Why?
What?
I don't know.
Isn't that funny whenever you say that? You share with... Why? Why do you want to do that?
And then
That's what I got.
At some point, I said, and Mom took it totally wrong. I said, I just feel like it's all I can do, and I didn't mean it as in as in I'm too dumb to do anything else. But that's how she took it. She was like,
Right.
well, you're very smart. You could be, you got A's in science. You could do anything. I was like, no, not I'm too dumb to do anything. I just feel like
Mama, I just want to be a dumb cop.
I just feel like it's what I'm supposed to do or what I should
Right.
What I should do. So see you later.
Yeah.
Tater.
But yeah, that was how I ended up there.
All eyes on me.
Right. Well, you said.
This was the conversation she hated when I had to draw it out of her. See if she does better
Now
this
she's
time.
ready. Now she's ready.
Yep, she's got it.
I am not, but I've always wanted to be a cop since I was like, I don't know, what's the age you can remember? 3, 5, I don't know, whatever. And then my neighbor lady, when I was growing up, when I was just a small little kid, was a cop, and I just thought she was like the baddest person like ever. Looked up to her, thought she was the coolest person ever. And then I was going to join the military after my brother did. That didn't go the way I thought it would. Mainly because he got killed in Iraq, and my parents were like, absolutely not.
Sorry about that.
Me too. So then kind of life took a different path. And then I met Eric, and I was like, oh, you're a cop? I always wanted to do that. And now I'm too old, but whatever. And he was like, yeah, what? No, you're not. So then.
But I did. I told her.
How's that again? Is that how that is?
That's exactly what I did. I said, da, you're not too old.
Yeah,
it's a little dance I had.
See, that's why we need to have a video. So everybody can see the Nichole dance. It's not like it's about like kind of a derivative of walk like an Egyptian. Only the hands are in.
Yes.
But I told her, like I said, literally, I've got 40-plus-year-olds in every one of my classes.
Oh, yeah.
And they're usually my favorite cadets.
Yeah.
Like, so you can do this.
Except for Nichole.
Yeah.
I actually did tell her class that I go, when it was my last day with them, I always have a little goodbye speech I give them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty short and sweet. But I said something about this class happened to have one of my favorite cadets ever in it. And everybody's like, "Aw!" And
it wasn't me.
I looked to the back. There's a kid in the back we called Meatball, and I go, and it's Meatball.
Yeah.
Who was it? What was it?
Schrader.
Oh yeah. Remember.
We hired him.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm not that thoughtful. I'm like, yeah, good luck, motherfuckers. Don't do anything fucking stupid. I don't want to see you on the news.
So then after that, I spent the next 2 years training to become a police officer. I went to 2 academies, in case you didn't know that.
No, I knew that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You just can't get enough. Did you have to go the second one?
She could have got around it.
I could have, but I didn't, because a long, convoluted process we'll tell you about one day, maybe off air. I just went through their full process, and I'm really glad I did. I'm glad I didn't lateral through my process.
Well, especially with a larger agency like that, because you get a class number and you got more of a bonding with that class. Is that true?
It absolutely is.
Yeah, because I know, like my friends at Columbus PD, oh yeah, what class were you? It's always, I worked there too, because Columbus is so huge, you don't know everybody.
Right.
What class were you? And you tell them, oh, okay, cool, blah blah blah. So you have that. And you don't have that in the community college world.
Oh no.
I went to Sinclair. Oh cool. When'd you go? What year? We're like, okay, whatever.
Yep.
But you don't really know anybody. You don't have that. You don't have that connection. Not that Sinclair's a bad academy. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, it's one
different.
time it was number 5 in the state. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Remember when Pete put that out? Did you get that survey? So
didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
yeah.
Way before you were there.
Right. Well, it was 2015. It come out.
I don't want to talk about
director,
my class.
but he was not that the current ones or nothing bad about anyone, but to me it was a sense of pride to be affiliated, and the other 4 above it are all full-time academies. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good to go through it.
How many
twice.
hours was your second academy then again?
A lot. I was in there for 34 weeks.
Yeah.
So
they pretty much double the state minimum.
Well, but
so she
internal academies you can do that.
Yeah. But so she wanted to go because she said, I'm going to get more training and better training. Like I want to go do the whole thing. And I was of course like, yeah, go for it. Like apparently at this point, our life is just you in a police academy. She got out of the second one. I was like, okay, we're keeping this job. Okay, we're not going to another state for a while or anything that's going to make us need another police academy, right? Because I'm kind of getting tired of this life.
yeah.
And I had the easy part. I just had to be home. She was the one doing it.
Doing the PT and diet. And...
Doing it all.
So are you still on probation?
Yeah. August, I'll be off probation.
That's what I tell everybody. You have no opinions? Keep your
No,
fucking mouth shut.
none.
It's just great. I'm just here to help the ball team. It's like that. It's like that. That scene out of Bull Durham. You know.
Yeah.
Let's start working on your speech. When Kevin Costner's talking to Tim Robbins. I'm only here for the ball club. We're going to take it a game at a time. That's what I tell all of them.
Yes.
Day after you get off probation, fuck you, motherfuckers. I hate every one of you sons of bitches. But anyway.
I have no opinion until then.
Right. You're that episode
Until they
of,
tell you what it is.
Reno 911 when they all won the lottery.
Oh, yeah. Man, I wish that show was still on. That was the best show. God, I love that show.
Sorry, I do.
No, you're good.
So, Sense of Pride when you got hired there?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Really proud.
I'm incredibly proud of myself and where I work. I'll be honest. I am proud to work for my agency.
I found that we see one another at graduation, and I didn't really, put the weight behind it to be at graduation when they graduate. You just kind of like, hey, whatever happened to you? Or kids come through advanced training. Hey, Sarge, I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking remember you. but it's not that.
You see so many.
I only remember the really bad ones first, and then the really good ones. So, it's like, oh, yeah, I know you. You suck ass. But you got fucking hired. That was the next one. Oh, my God.
I tell every class, and I'm sure you probably have a similar speech, but and I know other instructors do, but I've told every class, like, every day you're here is a job interview.
Yes.
Because
God, yes.
I've been on every hiring process at my agency in the last 20 years. And every time we're hiring and we get a bunch of apps, the first thing a chief does is sends me an email with a list of names and says, thumbs up, thumbs down. And I look through and I always tell, like, I'll tell the chief, like, okay, I recognize these 3 names. These 3 were in classes, but I don't remember them. That's probably a good thing because that means they were middle of the road. They were doing what they were supposed to do. I didn't have to crawl up their ass every day. Right. They weren't sucking ass every day. They were probably really good cadets if I don't remember them, which sounds really sad, but that's usually how it goes. But yeah.
And it's, I guess that's good, because every day is a job interview, and a lot of these kids don't put the weight behind that. They also don't put the weight behind. Think of how many chiefs we have that teach with us.
Oh yeah,
and that was something that we got 5 down there. And these guys don't have to go do that fucking job because it pays. The pay sucks.
Nothing.
We got a raise.
I know.
Yay.
It's pretty exciting.
Finally, first time in 10 years. But these guys go there and they dedicate their time and their professionalism and their expertise because they give a fuck. And that's one thing that was like, when we're talking about the benefits of leadership, who are the true leaders?
Yeah.
And when you have chiefs that are going back to the police academy and teaching, I was just really impressed with that because you don't have that in the big departments.
Nope.
Unless, the department you worked, did your chief, well, you probably switched chiefs in the middle of it, but other than come out and thank you for being here.
That's what he does.
Did they come and, okay, I'm teaching domestic violence today, or, whatever topic it is, that's pretty impressive. Sorry, I derailed you.
No, I think I derailed you, actually.
I derailed you first.
Yeah, it's fine. I was the derailer. I can't remember what we were talking about when we got on that sidetrack about the academy. You were being proud.
Why we became
Why you became cops.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's why.
All right, cool. Hold on. Dr. Dave. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's your show. Go ahead.
No, do you have anything off the top of your head? Because I've been getting, bullied over here with my horrible relationship skills between Mark and Dr. Dave. I'm over here taking notes. I got books to read.
I got some razor blades out in the garage. Up the river.
He wasn't here for that conversation.
No, he wasn't. I can't think of anything, but that's just, I didn't pre-write my notes like usually I do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's all right. And anything else? I can tell you why I want to become a cop.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Watching Cops. I'm like, where the fuck do I sign up to do that? That episode of Gary and Mel. I'm like, fuck yes. They get paid to do that?
I grew up watching that, and my sister talks about it all the time. She said you would run around singing the song and then arresting bad guys, and I was like, please don't tell people that.
Didn't you have? Was it a kitten that you arrested and put in your purse?
Yes.
Did you tie its little paws behind its back?
I used to have a cat that I would stuff in a purse and go arrest bad guys. I don't know. That's what my sister said. She's probably just trying to make me look bad. I don't know.
Kitty was your partner. We're gonna stay away from that. That's a rabbit hole, but that's a different show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to pick you guys' brains on while I got you a captive audience.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know communication's important, but like, what do you do when the other person gets home and is like, I don't want to talk about it?
Make an appointment. Did I just take the words out of your mouth? Yeah,
no,
David sucked in. I thought, I know that one. I can tell you with my wife and I, there's been times as of late. I mean, this wasn't while I was still working and we were together. As I said, we need to talk about this, but we're not going to talk about it right now because I'm raw. You know, I'm emotional, but I need to talk about this with you. So tomorrow we're going to go to lunch. We're going to talk about it.
Right.
And just take yourself out of the, and what that does is that takes you out of that energy. One thing with my current therapist, he's taught me a lot about spirituality. There's religion, and I'm a bead roller. I'm a Catholic. So there's religion, and then there's spirituality.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Took me a second. I went to a Catholic school, though, so it all clicks back. Eventually it comes back.
Praying the rosaries for those of us that need walk through the jokes.
Thank you.
Non-Catholics, pray the rosary, you roll the beads. But spirituality side of that's the energy. That's what the universe does for you. And for some people, that's God in your life. So if you take yourself out of that energy, and I can relate this. When we did Wives on the Line first episode, the energy in this fucking room was, oh God, it was awful. To where the dudes, we were out there on the porch smoking and drinking. We're like, oh my God, what's David talking about our women in there with? You know, and my
Did
wife,
anyone bring meth?
Well, geez, Matthew. Love those videos. But my wife was really intense. And I just came in to check to make sure that the sound's going, and when people's talking,
don't break my equipment.
Right. In case something gets hit, I come in to check the production to make sure everything's going on. And she's like confessing her soul, like this is, the sisters of the Yaya Sisterhood. I'm like, motherfucker, you're doing this on a podcast. I mean, the whole goddamn world's going to hear it. She's like, get out of here, and I'm like, woo, I'm like, we need to talk about this after bed, there, sugar, but. She was so upset that I came in. She's like, well, you're just in there checking. And I'm like, no, honey, I'm producing the show. If there was a glass wall here behind Eric, we would be in there watching you and listening to you, but we're not. This is, anyway, it is what it is. But I need to make sure that everything was going because I didn't want to get into this and someone's really, being vulnerable and we lost it because somehow something on the board got hit.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Concern. Right. We were just talking about it. So you want to have a podcast, huh? Yeah. So the energy in a room and the energy that you're experiencing at that time, and I really thought that where I'm going, I really thought that episode was going to be a fucking shit show. So Donnie produced it. He gives it back to me we audit. I listen to everything before we ever post it. And it was like, that's not that bad. It wasn't that bad at all. And other people that were here at the time were experiencing that energy. And then when they listened to the show, they're like, oh, that totally isn't how I was experiencing it as it was happening. So in that light, you're, and I'll just talk about me, I'm really emotional about something. And whether good, bad, either side of the perspective is that I don't want to talk to you in that light. I want to share with my spouse the calmness, and this is what I thought, and this is what got me here. Does that make sense? But you're not charged with it.
Yes.
Okay.
That does make sense.
Okay, good.
And that might be subconsciously what I'm doing with certain things. Other things, it's just I'm not used to somebody wanting to hear what I have to say. I know 4 years into this, I'm still not used to somebody wanting to hear about my day or wanting to hear like you're good, the bad, and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's part of it. But then the other part is like, oh, I'm so frustrated with this call or how this person handled it or anything like that. And it still makes me so angry. Like the one time when I yelled at you, even though you had nothing to do with the situation.
You weren't yelling at Eric. You were yelling at.
You were yelling.
I was just in the direction of your mouth.
Yes, that is correct.
And then the meat lever went by. Swing, ching.
Well, and I remember one time I said something that I forgot I had said, and apparently she held on to it, and maybe still does a little bit. We were talking one time, and I said something about, oh, fucking rookie cops drive me fucking crazy because all they want to fucking do is talk about work and their siren and fucking, you got this gun or that gun and what kind of flashlight do you carry? And I don't fucking care.
I'm not a gearhead.
I know, but I was like, I just like fucking rookie cops just drive me fucking insane.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
I want to do like when I'm not at work, I'm a cop, really? Oh, I guess I am.
Yeah.
But I had said that once. And then one day when I'm trying to get her to tell me, she was still in field training, and I'm just like, tell me how it's going. And honestly, part of it, because I'm in charge of our field training program where I am, I wanted to hear how hers is going, to kind of compare, contrast, if I could make some changes and whatnot. And she's super recalcitrant to tell me.
No, you're talking
like
over my head. What
anything.
does that word mean?
Oh,
Thank you.
She's resisting strongly.
Okay, got it.
She's strongly resisting wanting to talk to me about how training's going or her day or anything. And finally one day she goes, you said you hate rookie cops because they always want to talk about work.
Oh, that's
and
trauma
I don't want to bother you. I don't want to bother you with talking about work all the time.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? I don't mean you. Like,
Right.
you're different. You don't count. I want to hear about your day.
Right.
Like
right.
that's different.
I can see that. I mean, from the male and the female perspective, because women are wired different than men. I raised 3 daughters. And everything in my house was female. So, you got to learn what you say, how you can say the same thing to a male. And it's like, whatever. Where the women's like, running off in the corner and crying. I mean, right
Yes.
or wrong there, Dr. Dave.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
So the thing that hung in your head was that you misinterpreted that. He wants to hear about everything. And, that's where I see a lot of marriages, and we've all seen it. You've been around forever, like I have. How those marriages go down the shitter is that you need to keep that intimacy or that conversation between the two of you.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in your head. Probably the best thing to have done was like, what did you mean by that, Eric?
Yeah, I'm learning to ask those clarifying questions.
Ask more questions because I want to share with you because I'm a rookie and I want to share with you. What did you mean by that? And I totally got that. We did SFSTs. And there was a volunteer, and this person was just talking cop the whole time. I'm like, bro, give it a rest.
You're here. You got free booze. Shut up.
Yeah, we're all cops here. We get it, man. And, But I said that to myself, but I let them express themselves. But
Right.
yeah, I totally get what you're saying. But for relationship-wise, yeah. I think you guys really have a leg up on most other people and other first responders. Because you get it.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which I think is part of trying is probably the biggest thing.
But you're aware of it.
We've had arguments before where one of us just looks at the other one and goes, "I'm trying," and mean it. Like I know I fucked this up. I know I totally missed the mark on this.
So with your first marriage, would you have done that?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that's awesome. What do you think?
I do too.
David?
Those are the lessons learned from the experiences we have in life. You can pay attention to them and apply them to the next chapter, which is what you're doing, or you can dismiss them. Usually doesn't work out well if you dismiss them. We go through life to learn a whole lot of stuff. Learning as much as possible, to me, is the excitement of being alive. And when you're with a new partner and you're in a new job, a new career, man, there's a lot of new going on. I think that's really good energy. And people, ask me, well, how do you keep that going? Well, you have to talk to each other. You have to do the things you were doing when you were first getting together, like, going on dates, spending time alone, making sure all the flavors of intimacy get addressed and expressed. Yes, you're physically intimate, wonderful. Verbally intimate, that's even better. If you can get your emotions involved, you're emotionally intimate with each other, you're going to be riding for a long time in a nice place. So find the things that got you together, all that energy. Just keep doing that shit.
That should be on a shirt.
Just keep doing that shit. That's right. By Dr. Dave. Merch coming soon,
There
right?
you go. Yeah, you need to open up a merch. Would you have that on a portal on your website?
Yes.
Go get you a Cricut and start printing your own shit
I
on.
don't think that many people are listening. We'll find out.
Well, you never know.
That's right.
You know, you're mouthing off on after a party one night where you say "Hawk Tua." Next thing you know, you're the most popular person in the world.
I actually watched an interview with that girl the other day. I got sucked in. So none of the stuff you hear is real.
Right.
Like she's not a school teacher. She's not. What did she say? She worked in a
Spring factory.
spring factory. Yeah. Worked in a spring factory.
Is she gay?
No. Worked in a spring factory. Her dad wasn't a preacher. Like all the little things that you've seen all over the
Everything's
internet.
bullshit, yeah.
And she was a silly college girl, obviously.
Right.
But she was just kind of like overwhelmed. It was kind of neat because she was overwhelmed at, she's like, I said this stupid thing. I came out of a bar.
Right. She's drunk, she's having fun.
I remember having the interview, but I honestly wasn't even thinking that they were recording it. And then all of a sudden, here I am, and she's like, and now I've got a publicist. I quit my job. I'm going on tour. I'm going to start a podcast. It was just funny, like that.
Well, she's just a really down home person. I mean, she's just real. I think that's what appealed to America. Is just
Yeah.
That was something stupid, but you never know what's gonna spark, and
Yeah, it was funny.
sometimes you say something dumb or get caught out in I guess
See, one of my dad jokes, damn it, is gonna make us millions. I'm gonna hit the gold with a dad joke eventually.
well, it's like with our show. If we become Joe Rogan-ish, hey, great. But that wasn't the purpose of doing the Shield Within.
Right.
The purpose of the Shield Within is to reach out and connect with that officer that's ready to eat their fucking gun.
Yes.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
We're built on a service model.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if it's just one or two officers, it's worth your
That's
time. And like I said with us, like even if I found out tomorrow, if I pulled up the analytics and found out nobody was listening,
I'd still do it.
I would be like, hey babe, let's go sit down, grab the microphones, and have our talk this week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we build our show. Some weeks we got 2 new listeners this week, or we're in another country, and I share our analytics.
Kazakhstan.
You can talk to each other.
Yeah.
Fuck?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I regularly have 2 Kazakhstani listeners.
Yeah.
And I still need you to send me an email, whoever the fuck you are. Because it just blows my mind. But you'll see them pop up from different places now and then.
And that's one wonderful thing about Spotify is you learn what device they're listening on, if it's male or female. We were primarily female.
Whoa.
We were like
Interesting.
60-40, and then over the last year we flipped. So the
That's
women all
crazy.
fell away.
It's that voice. They're just listening for your voice, Dave.
I think
That's
so.
exactly what it is. I know I keep harping on that,
Yeah.
but I'm super jealous of that voice.
He's the panty wetter. Can I say that on your show? I say sorry.
Yeah, definitely. That's in bounds.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Forget where I'm at once in a while. David done it, but it's interesting to see how many countries we're in. David has a huge following in Australia.
No way.
Huge
That's
following
so
in
cool.
Australia. And the show has also a big following in Texas. So if you're listening to us from
That's
Texas,
cool,
it's kinda
too.
cool. A lot of Texas Leos listen to us. But and it's different facets. So we're more of a healing. And what I like about your guys' show is that you got 2 cops that were not copped up, and really by your first 4 or 5 episodes, you really never knew it.
I think we mentioned it on the introduction episode.
you
It was kind of like, this is what we do, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
Get
but you
slipped
weren't.
in.
It was like, I'm a cop, and you move right on.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the premise of the show. The premise of the show is relationship, correct?
Correct.
Right.
How you crazy kids doing the air quotes, but how you're managing it. Can you believe we've been at this for 58 minutes?
Oh my goodness.
That's
crazy.
pretty good. It's been a nice, good conversation. It's gone well. I
Very
really
much.
enjoyed it.
Very much so.
Really like talking to you guys.
Oh, we would love to come back.
We should.
It would be. We can
We
do it
should
again.
do this
We should.
again.
We should have a check-in. Dr. Dave can bill us if he wants.
Yeah.
We'll come back
Yeah.
and check in on how our communication's going and whatnot, if it's gotten any better. But yeah, well, you want to take us out, or you want me to?
I don't like the taking out part. You can do it.
I can do it. All right. Well, thanks again for listening, everybody. Make sure to listen to The Shield Within. You're on all the podcast apps out there. You can find them anywhere. Your website's shieldwithin.com.
TheShieldWithin.com.
The Shield Within with the in the beginning. Yes.
Yes.
So theshieldwithin.com. Make sure and check them out, especially if you're a first responder. They're a really good show to listen to. And even if you're not a first responder, just tune in and listen to Dr. Dave's voice. It'll make you really happy. But other than that, send us a note. Let us know what you thought of the show. We'll do this again with these guys because we had a good time.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, like, follow, share. We need those written reviews. So write some reviews for us. That makes a world of difference. And Nichole will send you, I don't know, something cool. Ooh,
Whoa, don't say that.
That sounded bad.
Are you taking requests? I know, that was super.
Oh, your
creepy.
inbox just lit up, baby.
Now we have to have a serious conversation. Tomorrow
I
at
meant-
2.
I meant coffee. I don't know where you perverts' minds are at, but
Send them a dog picture.
There we go.
what do you pick up out of the yard?
Oh, that's a good one too.
You know what? I'm sorry. As long as Mark and I have done this job, there's someone that wants what you pick up out of it.
Yeah, you're
Yuck.
right. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
And that is a great note to end on.
Yes.
May your days and nights find you strong and safe. May you take your place as your family's face. As you do the shit that we won't do. As you embrace the risk you must go through. May you grow in strength and heal and find your heart, your soul, and your mind. You look at your life and grin. You have a home, the shield within.